Clash of Titans, an astrological battle for America's future on Election Day 2024, by Ambrosius Holloway. In the darkening days of early November 2024, the stars align with a gravity that feels almost palpable, their silent power casting long shadows over America's upcoming presidential election. On the eve of November 5, 2024, the heavens unfold an astrological tableau, each planet taking its place, influencing not just the course of a single election, but, it seems, the very destiny of a nation. In this cosmic dance, one figure stands out with a somber yet commanding presence: Saturn, that ancient titan of discipline, stability, and enduring structure. It is a clash of forces as America's natal chart, marked by its own unique legacy, meets the weighty influence of transiting Saturn in Pisces. On November 1, 2024, Saturn begins its forward march, stationed direct in Pisces, a placement that resonates deeply with the USA's chart. This transiting Saturn sits in the USA's 10th house, where governance, reputation, and leadership come to the fore, and reaches out in a precise trine to the USA's natal Sun in Cancer, positioned in the 8th house, the realm of shared resources, transformation, and deep-rooted power. The trine between Saturn at 13 degrees Pisces and the USA's Sun at 13 degrees Cancer is a harmonious yet unyielding bond, a celestial endorsement that favors structure, experience, and the promise of longevity. This alignment, exact just days before the election, holds an influence that whispers to the nation's collective heart. Picture Saturn here as a figure cast in stone, unmoving, timeless. Its influence akin to the marble pillars of the Capitol, unyielding in their silent command. This trine brings with it a stern promise that the leader who steps into power will likely be one who echoes Saturn's own qualities of discipline, prudence, and a vision anchored in tradition. This is not the figure of bold, untested promises or reckless ambition. Instead, Saturn's trine calls forth a candidate who embodies stability, a steady hand in turbulent waters, someone capable of carrying the nation's burdens as the Capitol dome bears its weight, weathering storms with a resilience forged in years of hard-won experience. For the American public, this influence casts a hypnotic pull. Saturn in the 10th house speaks to the collective yearning for stability, for an administration that can navigate the complexities of governance with a firm grasp and a cautious eye. This trine to the natal Sun in Cancer hints at a more conservative, perhaps even paternal figure, someone with the reliability of an ancient oak, deeply rooted, promising the solidity and accountability of structures that have stood the test of time. The nation finds itself poised at a crossroads where the steadying hand of Saturn seems almost palpable. Voters may sense it in their bones, a pull toward a leader who promises not quick fixes but a fortified future. There's an urgency here, a call for unity and security that Saturn's trine reinforces as the public looks for leadership to anchor them. This figure, guided by the steady influence of Saturn in the 10th house, may well be one who places national security, disciplined governance, and a vision for lasting legacy above the transient whims of the moment. And so, as the polls open on November 5, the tension reaches its crescendo. The stars hold their breath as America steps forward, its citizens urged by this cosmic alignment to choose a path not for today, but for the ages. Who will answer Saturn's call, stepping into the role of custodian, builder, and unbreakable force in times of uncertainty? The election day draws near, charged with a significance that feels almost otherworldly, a day on which the nation's future hangs in the balance, swayed by the silent counsel of the stars. As dawn breaks on November 5, 2024, a fiery energy surges through the astrological heavens, igniting a sense of urgency and fierce competition in the race for the United States presidency. The stage is set, and Mars, warrior planet of action and drive, is poised directly across from Pluto, the deep, transformative force, marking a transit that crackles with tension and intensity. Mars, transiting through Leo and housed in the USA's first house, the nation's very identity, locks in a bold opposition with Pluto in Capricorn at 27 degrees, stationed in the USA's second house of wealth, values, and resources. This aspect, exact on election day itself, reverberates with high-stakes energy, a signal that the battle for power will be fierce, unyielding, and perhaps uncompromisingly transformative. Mars in Leo here is a dynamic force, exuding a charisma that commands attention. This is Mars as a lion-hearted champion, assertive and fearless, a symbol of leadership with a mission. Picture Mars in Leo, clad in fiery hues, rallying a call for courage, one that speaks directly to the national sense of identity. This Mars is not content with cautious diplomacy. It's driven to lead boldly, inspiring followers with both strength and the magnetism of a lion leading its pride. Against Pluto in Capricorn, however, this force meets a formidable opponent. Pluto, stationed in the second house, signifies the entrenched, often invisible structures governing America's wealth and values. This planet's influence here suggests a deeply rooted power, the kind that endures across generations, holding sway over financial and institutional stability. As these two planets face off, Mars and Pluto engage in a cosmic tug-of-war, where ambition clashes with control, and charisma contests deep-rooted authority. In mundane astrology, a Mars-Pluto opposition signifies a collision of forces that thrives on competition, intensity, and sometimes, the sheer drive for transformation at any cost. This is no ordinary influence. The Mars-Pluto opposition breathes life into an atmosphere that's winner takes all, charged with a sense of determination that knows no middle ground. On election day, this energy may favor a candidate whose persona resonates with the bold assertiveness of Mars in Leo, one unafraid to stand as an icon of strength, ready to transform America's values and approach to its resources. Yet, this transit doesn't simply highlight the strength of a leader, it also underscores the stakes for the nation itself. Mars, acting through the USA's first house of self-identity, hints that America is at a point where it seeks to reclaim or redefine its foundational character. Meanwhile, Pluto, holding power over the nation's values in the second house, reflects an electorate increasingly aware of economic reform's critical importance. This Mars-Pluto opposition brings these themes to the fore, perhaps signaling public desire for radical shifts in wealth distribution, financial policy, or institutional reform. Voters are drawn to this leader's fearless energy, magnetized by the promise of transformation, compelled by the bold vision they bring to the table. So, as the ballots are cast, the electorate stands at the edge of a transformative moment, one that echoes with the Mars-Pluto dynamic of assertiveness versus control, of vision versus endurance. This is an election where voters sense a promise of change, a call for a leader capable of both defiance and reform. The Mars-Pluto opposition urges the nation forward, igniting the urge to break from the past and step boldly into a new chapter. And as the final votes are tallied, America's journey into the unknown beckons. The Mars-Pluto opposition signals that this is only the beginning, a bold first step on a path that will challenge the very heart of the nation's power structures and values, leaving an indelible mark on the history to come. As Election Day dawns on November 5, 2024, Mercury, the fleet-footed messenger of the cosmos, takes its place in Sagittarius, casting a bright, optimistic gaze across the horizon. This transit, Mercury forming a trine with the USA's ascendant at 8 degrees Sagittarius, unfolds a vision that transcends the bounds of ordinary politics. Here, the skies whisper of diplomacy, expansive thinking, and a rekindled sense of purpose on the world stage, calling to a nation poised for change. This trine, like a golden thread, binds the aspirations of the people with a call for unity, progress, and renewed global engagement, a soft but powerful influence that shapes the tone of the day. In Sagittarius, Mercury takes on a voice that is both broad and bold, a communicator inspired by ideals and big-picture visions. Picture Mercury here as a beacon, illuminating paths not yet taken, urging the nation to consider its place in the grand tapestry of the world. This is not a Mercury confined to minutiae, it is one that reaches beyond the horizon, casting its gaze on foreign shores, academic reforms, and the ideals that define a nation's soul. Sagittarius, after all, is the archer, its arrows aimed far into the distance, and here Mercury channels this boundless energy, inviting the public to think beyond immediate concerns and embrace a vision for the future. The USA's ascendant, sitting at 8 degrees Sagittarius, resonates deeply with this influence. This ascendant represents the nation's public face, its outward identity, and in mundane astrology, it is the mask through which the nation interacts with the world. As Mercury trines this point, there is an invitation for the country to embody its highest ideals, to look beyond the day-to-day grind and consider what it stands for on the world stage. Imagine the USA under this influence, a land of open vistas and limitless opportunity, where diplomacy, education, and innovation converge in a vision that seeks unity and diversity, bringing light where there was division, and dialogue where there was discord. On election day, this harmonious trine may subtly favor candidates who speak to these expansive ideals, those who articulate an agenda that reaches outward, embracing a collective vision for a better, more interconnected world. This is the energy of optimism, a magnetic pull toward leaders who look past barriers, and who promise unity over division. In a world increasingly divided, Mercury in Sagittarius appeals to the nation's longing for purpose, reminding voters of the power of big ideas and shared goals. This influence also brings a harmonious tone, creating an environment where diplomacy and cooperation may resonate with the public more than the combative rhetoric often found in political campaigns. Mercury's trine to the ascendant is a gentle, guiding hand, urging the nation to turn away from polarization and look toward a future where leadership is defined not by force, but by vision and integrity. So, as the day unfolds, the voters may feel a subtle pull toward the candidate who speaks in these broader terms, who invokes the ideals of unity and collective purpose. This is an election moment that resonates with a promise of expansion, a whisper of possibilities that draw the public into a hopeful, forward-looking vision for America. The votes are cast, guided by this trine's gentle assurance that there is more to gain by coming together than by pulling apart. And as the final counts approach, America stands at the precipice of possibility, guided by Mercury's light, a reminder that this election may set the tone for a chapter marked by unity, diplomacy, and a renewed sense of purpose. The stage is set, and as the trine fades, the legacy of this influence will linger, encouraging the nation to keep reaching, to keep believing in a future that, while uncertain, is undeniably bright. As the dust of election day settles and the nation holds its breath, an electric charge hums through the astrological landscape on November 7, 2024. This is a day when the Sun in Scorpio, with all its intensity and depth, directly opposes the USA's natal Uranus in Gemini at 8 degrees, casting a spotlight on the unpredictable, the unconventional, and the bold. Uranus, the planet of sudden change, of breaking chains and sparking rebellion, takes center stage, promising that this election may not yet have unveiled its final surprise. Picture the Sun, blazing in Scorpio, casting its penetrating gaze across the sky toward Uranus in Gemini, nestled in the USA's 6th house, a domain of public services, labor, and the bedrock of the nation's workforce. Uranus, with its restless spirit, shakes the ground beneath the status quo, its unpredictable energy fueling a demand for change that can't be ignored. This opposition represents a clash of energy between tradition and transformation, casting a shadow over the election's results with a feeling that something big, is just about to break. Uranus in the 6th house is a powerful placement, representing not just progressive ideas but a force for overturning established norms, particularly in areas of public welfare and labor. This is the energy of civil rights movements, of reformative labor policies, and of leaders who shake the foundations of convention to build something new. The opposition with the Sun signals the emergence of a figure or a cause that does not play by the usual rules, a candidate, perhaps, who brings an unexpected, outsider perspective, one that challenges the familiar, rattling the corridors of power with a fresh and fearless vision. The Sun in Scorpio, with its magnetic pull, may symbolize an intense, transformative energy in leadership, one that stirs a profound desire for a candidate willing to venture into the unknown, to revolutionize what has long gone unchanged. Scorpio's depth meets Uranus's innovation, hinting that the nation's collective pulse might be drawn to a leader who is unafraid to delve into uncomfortable truths and illuminate new pathways. This is not a day of business as usual, it's a cosmic invitation to step into uncharted territory. Voters may find themselves pulled toward candidates who speak of independence, resilience, and a vision for a progressive future that leaves tradition in the dust. This leader may embody a rebellious edge, bringing innovative solutions and a willingness to dismantle what no longer serves the public. As the Sun-Uranus opposition illuminates the path forward, there's a feeling that the election results may tilt toward a figure who resonates with those seeking real change, a disruptor of systems, an outsider, unafraid to rattle conventions, especially in areas of technology, public services, or labor reform. As this opposition intensifies, the air crackles with the promise of something unexpected. The Sun-Uranus alignment reflects a nation at a crossroads, looking for leadership that dares to defy, to break from the past, and to steer toward the future. And so, as America pauses, watching and waiting, one thing becomes clear. This isn't just an election, it's the opening act of a transformative chapter. A new kind of leader may emerge, unafraid of adaptation, fearless in the face of change, and ready to challenge the norms that no longer serve. The final results might be set, but the impact of this opposition suggests that what comes next will be revolutionary. A period marked by shifts and surprises. A chapter that will redefine America's identity on the global stage. As Uranus moves out of this opposition with the Sun, the nation holds its breath, ready for a future that promises to be anything but predictable. As the turbulence of Election Day recedes, a softer, stabilizing energy takes shape on November 9, 2024. Venus, goddess of diplomacy and social harmony, glides into Capricorn, casting her gentle, pragmatic influence over the landscape and reaching out in a harmonious trine to the USA's natal Venus in Cancer, positioned at 3 degrees. This celestial connection brings a sense of calm to the post-election atmosphere, weaving threads of unity, cooperation, and a deep respect for enduring partnerships across the national fabric. While the votes may already be counted, Venus's influence suggests that the winning candidate may reflect this harmonious alignment, a figure grounded in practical diplomacy, valuing stability and relationships above all. Imagine Venus in Capricorn, a steady, composed presence that speaks of careful strategy, patience, and the wisdom of tradition. In Capricorn, Venus is a diplomat of the highest order, someone who values partnerships and seeks solutions not through confrontation, but through cooperation. This trine to Venus in Cancer, a sign deeply connected to home, heritage, and national pride, hints at a leader whose appeal rests in their ability to foster both domestic and international alliances. They are not a fiery reformer but a calm, grounded presence, drawing people together with a vision that cherishes unity and gradual progress. This trine isn't just about charisma or charm, it's about pragmatism, about policies that feel like a steady hand guiding the nation forward. Venus in Capricorn exudes a respect for tradition, a desire to preserve while improving, and a commitment to safeguarding financial stability. This is the energy of a leader who seeks to build bridges rather than walls, someone who understands that true strength lies in cooperation and shared values. With this trine, voters are likely drawn to someone who values stability over shock, balance over upheaval. In mundane astrology, a Venus trine Venus alignment symbolizes not just personal relationships but the nation's alliances, its treaties, its unspoken understandings with other nations and communities. This aspect emphasizes a desire for harmony, for a candidate who can guide America with a level-headed approach, who knows that genuine leadership often means working quietly and strategically behind the scenes. They are the type of leader who listens, considers, and acts with steady, measured resolve. As Venus's trine to the USA's natal Venus becomes exact, the winning candidate's appeal may resonate with those seeking continuity, those longing for a leader who brings a nurturing presence to governance. This is a person who values tradition without clinging to it, who promotes incremental progress over radical change, and whose policies likely focus on sustainable economic growth, social harmony, and enduring alliances. They are a figure with a natural talent for resolving conflicts, for understanding the deeper undercurrents in relationships, and for valuing the connections that strengthen the nation's core. So, as this gentle trine unfolds, a quieter yet powerful energy fills the air. America, it seems, has chosen a path toward cooperation, a leader who embodies the strength of stability and the power of pragmatic solutions. This is a time when diplomacy reigns, when financial stability and respect for tradition take precedence, and when social issues are handled with a steady, respectful hand. As Venus's influence continues, the nation's gaze shifts from the noise of campaigning to the promise of steady, cooperative progress. The trine between Venus in Capricorn and Venus in Cancer suggests that this chapter will be marked not by upheaval but by thoughtful, intentional progress. Proof that sometimes, the strongest force for change is simply a leader who knows the value of peace, unity, and enduring partnerships. The stage is set for a future shaped by cooperation, where America's alliances, both at home and abroad, find new strength in the hands of a diplomatic, pragmatic leader. As Election Day passes, the celestial tension builds, and by November 15, 2024, the powerful clash between Jupiter and Saturn forms a defining square. Jupiter, retrograde in Gemini, in the USA's 6th house, locks in an intense 90 degrees angle with Saturn stationed in Pisces in the 10th house, where governance and authority reside. This square vibrates with the energy of ideological conflict, a cosmic standoff between Jupiter's expansive optimism and Saturn's careful restraint. It suggests a close, contentious contest that may reverberate through the post-election landscape, as two distinct visions for America's future vie for the nation's allegiance. Picture Jupiter in Gemini, a visionary presence calling for growth, inclusivity, and a forward-looking perspective. In retrograde, however, Jupiter's influence becomes introspective, encouraging the public to reflect on past policies, to rethink education, and to reconsider how the nation communicates its values to the world. This retrograde position makes Jupiter's ideals seem almost nostalgic, as if reminding the electorate of once cherished ambitions and aspirations. Jupiter's influence here points to a leader who embodies intellectual freedom, who speaks of broadening horizons and embracing a progressive agenda that values education, diplomacy, and social harmony. Saturn in Pisces, however, brings a contrasting energy to this cosmic equation. Stationed in the 10th house, the domain of public authority, Saturn casts a careful, scrutinizing eye over the landscape. It demands structure, responsibility, and a cautious approach to governance, favoring a leader who is steady, conservative, and rooted in pragmatism. Saturn's influence represents a longing for stability and a respect for established institutions, calling voters toward the familiarity of cautious, tested policies that prioritize security over change. This square between Jupiter and Saturn, a discordant alignment between growth and caution, creates an atmosphere of ideological clash. The opposition resonates with an electorate split down the middle, with each side pulling toward these opposing ideals, a tug of war between those seeking visionary change and those anchored in tradition. As the dust settles from Election Day, the square suggests possible delays or disputes, the kind of tension that demands careful negotiation between optimism and realism. This is a moment where the winning candidate may embody both Jupiter's hopefulness and Saturn's pragmatism, promising progress while respecting the structures that hold society together. The victor in this race is likely a figure who can bridge this divide, someone who brings a future-oriented perspective yet remains grounded in responsibility. They appeal to voters with a broad, inclusive vision, aiming to elevate areas like education, international relations, and technological growth. Their policies seek to balance forward-thinking initiatives with a respect for established norms, appealing to a broad base of progressive and conservative constituencies alike. This leader is both a visionary and a realist, drawing on Jupiter's inclusive energy to present a hopeful vision, yet tempered by Saturn's reminder that true progress must be grounded in solid foundations. And as the nation holds its breath, awaiting the final outcomes and potential shifts, the Jupiter-Saturn square leaves its indelible mark. It's a cosmic reminder of the delicate dance between ambition and caution, of the need for leaders who can balance the future with the past, and the ideal with the practical. As Jupiter's retrograde influence wanes, the promise of a reflective, re-evaluated path forward shines, offering America a future shaped by vision yet guided by wisdom, a journey into possibility tempered by experience. The country stands ready, its course set by a leader who understands that growth is strongest when it stands on a foundation of resilience and unity. As the nation navigates the tense atmosphere of the 2024 election, the activation of key houses in the USA's mundane chart offers insight into the themes shaping this pivotal moment. From the government structure to grassroots movements, economic values, and the dynamics of public services, these house activations reveal a complex web of influences, each pulling voters in distinct directions as the country decides its path forward. The 10th House, Stability and Governance. In the USA's 10th House of Governance, Saturn sits resolute in Pisces, casting a stabilizing shadow over the ruling party and the structures that underpin government authority. Saturn, the planet of discipline and responsibility, embodies a call for caution, favoring a candidate who speaks to the electorate's desire for order, stability, and a steady hand. This influence suggests that voters may be drawn to a leader who offers a conservative, structured approach, someone who values accountability and brings a reassuring, grounded presence to the political stage. Saturn's presence here subtly shapes the narrative of the election, encouraging the public to seek leadership that respects tradition while managing the complexities of the nation's governance with a practical, experienced approach. The 4th House, the public's heart and grassroots influence. Opposite Saturn's steadiness in the 10th house lies the USA's 4th house, ruled by Cancer, a house symbolizing the homeland, the people, and the very soul of the nation. Although no significant transits occur in this house on election day, the Moon, the USA's ruling planet, positions itself in Aquarius in the 3rd house, representing the voice of the people and local communities. This lunar placement suggests that grassroots energy will be influential in shaping public opinion. Aquarius, known for its progressive and humanitarian leanings, brings a spark of innovation and community-driven focus to the electoral environment, emphasizing local issues, social equity, and the public's collective voice. It's a placement that favors candidates who resonate with the community, who speak to the concerns of the everyday citizen, and who bring a vision for progress that is both inclusive and forward-thinking. The 2nd house, Economic Values and Transformation. Turning to the nation's 2nd house of economic values, Pluto's transformative presence looms large, highlighting themes of national wealth, resources, and financial direction. This powerful placement is activated by Mars' intense opposition on election day, setting the stage for a debate that dives into the very heart of America's economic policies. Mars' opposition challenges Pluto's grip on wealth and values, signaling a moment of potential upheaval and a call for reform. The electorate may feel this as a need for financial recalibration, perhaps favoring a candidate who advocates for economic justice, wealth redistribution, or policies that address inequality. With Pluto in the 2nd house, voters could be swayed by promises of economic transformation, a call for accountability, and the potential to redefine the values that guide the nation's financial decisions. The 6th house, Public Services and Reform. In the USA's 6th house, Uranus sits in Gemini, embodying the spirit of progress and reform in the realm of public services, labor, and health. The Sun in Scorpio opposes this placement shortly after Election Day, illuminating issues related to social services, healthcare, and labor laws. Uranus, the planet of disruption and innovation, stirs a desire for change, hinting that the public may lean toward a candidate who champions reform in these essential areas. Whether through healthcare improvements, labor protections, or enhanced social services, this Uranian activation suggests a shift in public sentiment favoring modern, adaptable policies that meet the evolving needs of the nation's workforce. Candidates who can articulate a vision for equitable, forward-looking public services are likely to capture the attention of an electorate yearning for systemic improvements. A complex web of influences. Together, these house activations depict an electorate at a crossroads, balancing conservative stability against progressive change, the security of tradition against the promise of reform. The 10th house's Saturn influence pulls toward a steady, structured governance, while the fourth house's grassroots focus amplifies community voices. The economic concerns highlighted in the second house evoke a call for financial transformation, and the sixth house Uranian influence brings urgency to public services and labor reform. As the votes settle, this complex interplay suggests that the winning candidate will need to embody a delicate balance of these influences, an individual who can unite the stability of tradition with the adaptability of progress, who respects established structures yet recognizes the need for growth and reform. This leader will likely appeal to a public eager for responsible governance, yet open to the renewal of systems that no longer serve the common good. America stands on the cusp of a transformative chapter, and as these house activations fade, they leave a powerful message. The nation's future rests in the hands of those who can harmonize these dynamic forces, a future where tradition and innovation join in crafting a vision that is as enduring as it is progressive. As the nation heads into the November 5, 2024, election, the stars reflect a landscape of tension, competition, and a complex blend of aspirations for both change and stability. The astrological climate indicates a tightly contested race, rich with ideological divides, charismatic leadership, and potential surprises that could shape the political journey ahead. Close and contentious race. The Mars-Pluto opposition, with its charged, winner-takes-all intensity, combines with the Jupiter-Saturn square to set the stage for a close, perhaps contentious election. These aspects point to an electorate split by powerful ideological forces, where conservative and progressive values clash over the direction of America's future. The atmosphere on election day will likely be intense, with voters feeling the pressure of choosing between markedly different visions. Favor for a strong, dynamic leader. Mars in Leo, positioned in the first house of self-identity, suggests a public drawn to a leader who embodies boldness, pride, and strength. The ideal candidate here is one who exudes charisma and confidence, qualities associated with Leo's regal energy. A dynamic leader who speaks to the public's sense of national pride, confidence, and resilience may find particular favor, especially among those looking for a figure who can reinvigorate America's identity on the global stage. Potential for surprises or reversals. Shortly after Election Day, the Sun in Scorpio opposes Uranus in Gemini, hinting that surprises may lie in store. This opposition suggests the possibility of an unconventional candidate or an outcome that diverges from traditional expectations. Paired with Jupiter retrograde, this influence may indicate reversals or reconsiderations, signaling that public sentiment could be volatile or even open to last-minute changes. The potential for an unexpected result adds an element of suspense, as voters may find themselves drawn toward a fresh perspective that breaks from established norms. Conservative leanings in governance. Meanwhile, Saturn in Pisces, sitting in the 10th house and forming a supportive trine with the USA's natal Sun, brings a stabilizing influence that favors conservative, experienced leadership. This Saturnian presence suggests that, while the public may crave transformation, there is also a strong inclination toward structured, responsible governance. Voters may be attracted to a candidate who promises not only change but also security, valuing a steady, balanced approach that respects both tradition and reform. A dynamic and divisive outcome. In conclusion, the astrological aspects surrounding the November 5 election point to an intense, closely contested race with a strong emphasis on national identity, economic direction, and social policies. The Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter, Saturn aspects reveal a public wrestling with the tension between bold leadership and cautious stability, setting the stage for a potentially contentious outcome. The final result may reflect the nation's divided heart, torn between a desire for assertive, transformational leadership and a deep-rooted need for responsible, structured governance. As America stands at this crossroads, the stars suggest that the election's outcome will shape not only the immediate future but the country's enduring identity, leaving the nation poised on the edge of a transformative chapter. As the dust settles from the tumultuous 2024 election, the astrological alignments surrounding the event illuminate a captivating profile of the candidate poised to take the helm, a visionary reformer, uniquely suited to lead America through a period of intense transformation and renewal. This leader, shaped by the powerful planetary transits, emerges as a dynamic figure with the boldness, stability, and vision required to unify a nation at a crossroads. A transformational leader. With Mars opposing Pluto on election day, the winning candidate is no stranger to challenge. This aspect signals a reformer, a bold force unafraid to confront entrenched systems and dismantle structures that no longer serve. This leader embodies the essence of Mars, decisive, assertive, and unyielding in their drive to reshape the status quo. They are a force to be reckoned with, and voters are likely drawn to their courage and willingness to initiate profound change. A steady hand. Saturn's supportive trine to the USA's Sun reveals a candidate grounded in experience and responsibility, someone who understands the importance of stability even amidst transformation. This leader respects tradition and honors the nation's roots, while still envisioning a path forward. Saturn's influence suggests that voters see in this figure a steady hand, someone who provides both the security and pragmatic wisdom needed to guide the country with a sense of balance and accountability. Visionary yet pragmatic. Under the tension of the Jupiter-Saturn square, this leader balances growth with realism. Jupiter's optimism and expansiveness meet Saturn's structure and caution, creating a leader who dares to dream big but with a grounded, strategic approach. This candidate's vision encompasses progressive ideals, tempered with a practical mindset that ensures sustainable, inclusive growth. They advocate for advancements in education, economic policies, and international relations, appealing to a public yearning for progress that respects enduring values. A willing disruptor. With the Sun opposing Uranus, the victor carries a spark of the unconventional, a rebellious edge that challenges outdated norms. This aspect hints at a willingness to disrupt, innovate, and champion new ideas that resonate with a diverse, evolving electorate. Their approach may appear unorthodox, perhaps even radical to some, yet it appeals to voters eager for a break from tradition, drawing in those ready to embrace a forward-thinking leader who is unafraid to tackle change head-on. A unifier. Finally, Venus's trine to the USA's natal Venus infuses this leader's profile with diplomacy, cooperation, and a dedication to unity. They are skilled in bringing people together, understanding the importance of collaboration and balanced solutions. Venus's influence points to a leader who values harmony in both domestic and international relationships, striving to bridge divides and foster a culture of respect and mutual support. This leader's diplomatic approach speaks to a nation seeking not only strength but a sense of belonging and shared purpose. A visionary reformer for a new chapter. In essence, the astrological patterns surrounding the 2024 election suggest a leader who embodies the complex desires of the American public, someone who is charismatic, assertive, and prepared to initiate change, but also balanced with the pragmatic, stabilizing qualities that foster trust and continuity. This is a leader who bridges the old with the new, honoring tradition while steering the country toward a bold, inclusive future. As the next chapter unfolds, the United States stands ready to be guided by a transformational figure, one who understands that true progress lies in the balance of vision and responsibility, and who promises a revitalized path forward, grounded in unity, resilience, and a shared commitment to a brighter tomorrow.